Hello everyone! On behalf of Rainbow Loom, this is Angelynn, formerly known as TutorialsByA here on YouTube. Today I'm here to show you how to create this Mohawk bracelet. I love how this looks on my wrist. It almost looks like a scrunchie, and I think it's so cool how it stands up. And it's so fun to play with all the different color combos with this. Today I'll be showing you how to create this bracelet on one loom with this extension. However, if you create it on two looms, you can have this design going all the way around. And for reference, I used the full length of two looms on this one, and it's just a little big for my wrist. So if you have a small wrist like I do, you might want to make your bracelet maybe 1 2/3 looms length. This bracelet is an intermediate design. It's pretty quick to make, but we do deal with a little bit of higher tension portions during the looming process, so just be aware that you will need a little bit of patience to loom this bracelet. Today I'll be using this Rainbow Loom Mega Combo set. This set features loomi-pal charms that are so fun to accessorize your bracelets with. To create today's bracelet, you will first need a Rainbow Loom. I have the 2.0 with me today, but you can also use the original. You'll also need some rubber bands, a C-clip or a G-clip to fasten your bracelet together, as well as a hook. Let's start placing our bands on our loom. To start, we'll make sure that this arrow here at the bottom of our loom is pointing up and says the number 1, and our pins should be in a U-shaped orientation. We have a 3-step pattern today for our rubber band placement. So first we'll start off by placing V-shaped bands, followed by a horizontal triangular band, and then a vertical band at the bottom here. Our V-shaped bands and our triangle bands will be these little mohawk portions of our bracelet, and then the vertical bands that we place down the center of our loom will be this single chain that you see here, and this is white on this bracelet and teal on this bracelet. Starting off with my first color for my V-shape, which is going to be in the same place that this pink or this blue is on my bracelet here. I'm gonna go vertically up to the left pin up here, so we have an exaggerated diagonal. We're skipping this bottom left pin here, and then we'll do the same thing on the right side. Next, I'll take my color of rubber band that I'm going to have at the top of this little spike here, which is gold on this bracelet, and I'm going to use red today. We are going to double this over first with our fingers and then place it around these 3 pins. So you have a triangle with this point at the bottom. Our last rubber band is going to be this white single chain at the bottom of our bracelet, which is going to be white for my bracelet again today. And I'm gonna go vertically from this bottom pin up to the point of the triangle here. So your loom should look like this, and those are our 3 steps that will repeat all the way down our loom. So I'm going to take the next color for my next spike here on my mohawk, and I'm gonna go from the top of this white band that we previously placed up diagonally to the left to make an exaggerated diagonal, and then we'll do the same thing on the right side. Now to create this triangle with the point at the bottom, I'm going to take my rubber band, double this over, and then place this across these 3 pins here. Our last step of this process is to put our vertical band down, and this is going to connect from our previous white chain up to the next pin above. So we have our second set of bands there, and now we repeat the process again. So taking my next V-shaped band color, we're gonna go up diagonally to make an exaggerated diagonal. This rubber band is connecting from the center pin here up to this pin where there's nothing on it yet, and then the same thing on the right side. Now we'll do our horizontal band that's in the shape of a triangle, but make sure to double it over first and then place it on your loom. And then we'll finish off with our vertical band like that. Here's my loom again, and we'll repeat this process again by going with our V-shaped band first for our next color, and again here on the other side. Now our triangular band that's doubled over, placed across these 3 pins. And then we'll finish off with our single chain through the center, like that. So as you can see, I have a set of colors that I use for each of the 3 steps, and then I alternate that set of colors for the next one, and the next one, and the next set of bands. So my V-shaped bands are alternating, as well as my triangular horizontal bands here. So I'll show you this process one last time, and then I'll fast forward the video. So starting off, we'll do our V-shaped bands here, Make sure that the V here is connected to the top of your white single chain band here. Then we'll do a horizontal band, and this is doubled over before it is placed on our loom. And then we have our vertical band last, which connects from the previous vertical band up to the pin above that. So here we go, here's my loom. I'm gonna go ahead and continue this process all the way down, and I'll meet you again towards the end of my loom. Alright, so I'm about to start my last set of rubber bands. I'm going to continue like I did previously with my V-shaped first. But here I'm going to stop, and instead of doing my horizontal triangular band that's doubled over first, or next I should say, we are instead going to place our vertical band here. And now we will place our doubled over band. Normally we would add a cap band at the end of our loom before we start looming. However, since we have 3 different pins that we have rubber bands on extending out this way, we are going to have our cap band be this band right here, and as you can see, it's encompassing all of those bands. So for this bracelet, we won't specifically add a cap band onto one particular pin. This doubled over horizontal band will be our cap band. So here at this point is what my loom looks like. Once you've finished placing your rubber bands, you can go ahead and rotate your loom 180 degrees to where we have this arrow at the bottom that says the number 2 here, and your pin should be in an upside down U orientation like this. And now we're ready to start looming. For this process, we'll do our V-shaped bands first all the way down, and then we'll come back down here to the bottom of our loom to do this vertical single chain down the center. So starting with our V-shaped bands, we're simply going to grab the left side here. I'm going inside of this triangular band, using the back of my hook to push this backwards and grab this V-shaped band here. And then I'm going to loom this up to this center pin. It might get a little bit wonky, but just leave it however it goes. Make sure you just loom it from bottom left to top middle. Same on this side. I'm using the back of my hook to push this backwards, grab this rubber band, and loom this up to that center pin. You can push your rubber bands down a little bit to make room. And now we're moving on to our next set of V-shaped bands. So again, going inside of this triangular band, pushing this back with the back of my hook to grab this pink V-shaped band here, removing it from this pin very carefully, and then looming it up to that top pin up there. So we're basically folding it in half, or meeting one end from this here up to the other end of that same rubber band. So grabbing this band here, moving it up to the other end. Make sure you're always going from inside of this triangular band to grab that V-shaped band, and you're not going from out here. So going in through the triangle band, up, like that. And we'll continue this all the way down our loom. And I'll meet you back towards the end to show you how to move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm at the end of my loom, looming the last set of the V-shaped band, so go ahead and do that step all the way down to the very end. And at this point, your loom should look like this. Now we're ready to move on to our last step of looming, which is this white single chain that runs through the center of our loom here. You do need to be a little careful with this process because there are a lot of layers on each of the pins here, so just make sure that you're grabbing the correct rubber band. The first one we'll grab is very easy to see though. It's this white band right here. I'm going inside of this triangle to grab it, so make sure you're not going from in here. You're going inside of this triangle to grab the white band, and we're simply going to loom it upwards. If you have a top view of your loom, it's a little easier to see what rubber band we're supposed to grab. It's that white band that's horizontal right through that center. So I'm gonna push these back with the back of my hook to grab this white rubber band, pull it off of the pin very carefully, and loom it upwards. Same thing here, inside to grab this, loom it upwards. And you wanna pull very slowly and gently, because you don't want to break anything. There's a lot of rubber bands and a lot of tension on this one that we're pulling off the pin. Just be patient and take your time. And you're just going to continue this all the way down to the end of your loom. Alright, so I'm reaching the end here. I'm going to do my very last band here, and at this point, this is what my entire loom looks like. And our last step before we remove this from the loom is to take one band of our single chain color that was through the center, and we are going to use this to catch all of the layers that are on this very top center pin right here. So the last band that we loomed all of our bands onto. So I'm going to insert my hook through all of these layers here. Make sure you get through all of them, otherwise you'll lose a portion of your bracelet. And I'm going to use this one single rubber band, attach it onto my hook, that's through all of those layers, and then I'm going to pull this through that pin here. So now this rubber band has all of those layers attached to it. I'm going to add this end right here back onto my hook, so we have a single chain rubber band link that's holding all of these layers on this pin. This is what it looks like from the side. Now I can remove this from the loom, and we can remove our entire bracelet and reveal what it looks like. Here we have our Mohawk bracelet, and I'm so excited with how this color combination came out. This of course is not long enough to fit around my wrist, so I'm going to show you how to add this extension here. First, I'm going to make sure that my loom here is oriented correctly with this arrow at the bottom pointing up that says the number 1. And I'm going to take one rubber band at a time of this single chain color that's through the bottom here and just create a single chain on my loom. To do this, we're just going to make a zigzag, one band at a time going up the loom. And for me, I have a small adult wrist, and I use 9 rubber bands for my extension. Depending on your own wrist size, you might need more or less. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So once you have all your rubber bands on your loom, however many that you want, we're going to go ahead and rotate it 180 degrees again to where we have this arrow pointing up that says the number 2 now. And we're going to take this bracelet from our hook and attach it onto whatever the bottom pin of this single chain is on our loom. So for me, it's this one down here, but if yours is, let's say, down here, you'll attach this bracelet onto that pin instead. So whatever is at the bottom, I'm going to take my finger and insert it into the same 2 loops that are here on my hook and transfer these onto the bottom pin of my single chain. Just like that, and then we'll loom this like a normal single chain. And if you'd like more explanation on this, we have a tutorial linked in the description box below with in-depth instructions. So I'm going to go into the top 2 layers on each pin with my hook and grab the bottom layer and loom it up to the next pin that's diagonally above. Once you reach the top here, you can go ahead and grab your C-clip or G-clip, and we'll use this to scoop up the 2 layers that are on this top pin here like this. And then go ahead and remove this from your loom. Go ahead and untwist any rubber bands so that way your bracelet sits nice and straight. Then I'll go ahead and use this one cap band here that's colored and attach this onto my C-clip or G-clip, whatever you're using. And we have our completed Mohawk bracelet. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial on how to create the Mohawk bracelet. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below and let me know what you guys think. The mega combo set that I used in today's video is linked in the description box below, along with our social media sites. We would love to see your Rainbow Loom creations if you tag us at this username and add the hashtag Rainbow Loom to your caption. Again, thanks so much for watching this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you in our next one. Bye!